Alissa Violet has found herself in some trouble again after this week's episode of Cancelled. Tana and Brooke addressed all the drama with Alyssa trying to come for them over Jason Nash, and they aired everything out. They were not letting Alyssa get away with her little Snapchat rant from last week, and they absolutely went in on her. It's a mess, so let's get into it. I don't know what's been going on lately, but every single story this month has somehow managed to involve either Tana, Brooke, or both Tana and Brooke, and that trend is continuing again today. As you guys know, last week Alissa Violet decided to get on her Snapchat and call Tana Mongeau out for making fun of some girl's TikTok about being unplugged from drama and being with nature.
These TikToks kill me. Like, first of all, congratulations, Diva, you've been picked.
Tana, why are we shaming people for like actively not wanting to be a part of drama or know about drama and like choose to remove themselves from negativity in the world?
But we quickly learned Alyssa wasn't lashing out simply because of this random girl's TikTok. She had a bigger motive. She was coming for Tana because of the recent Storytime page told on Cancelled involving Tessa Brooks. Tessa got a ton of backlash from that story, and since Alyssa and Tessa are best friends, Alyssa decided to also come for Tana. She later put out a TikTok calling Tana out for making fun of Jason Nash. Tana's made a handful of TikToks throughout the year poking fun at Jason's new job as a live stream panhandler.
At least I'm not Jason Nash. Like, at least I'm just not Jason Nash.
And for some reason, Alyssa took offense to it and felt the need to defend Jason Nash.
Tana, I know your job, and I know that like you're supposed to be like talking about drama all the time, and that's literally your job on your podcast. But for coming to come for somebody that's literally just trying to make a simple living on like just going live on TikTok trying to make ends meet. Like, he's a middle-aged man, like he has kids, he has to make money for his kids' school, like all this stuff. Not everybody can post a butt picture on OnlyFans. Like, and make $1 million, okay? That's like unheard of. And I know you're BFFs with Trisha and you're on that side, but it's like, what's not cool is to shame, okay? Let's grow up. It's like, when did shaming become okay? Like,
that's on period.
And as you guys can probably guess, this video did not go over well. Not only was she laughing with her friend and shaming Tana for doing OF, but she was also defending Jason Nash. Choices were definitely made and people couldn't figure out why. Why go so hard for someone that you don't seem to be friends with, someone who's made pretty horrible choices and done some pretty horrible things? Well, it looks like we finally have our answer. For the last few days, Alissa Violet has been in London with Porsche, and guess who she seems to be very close friends with? Natalie. Natalie from the Vlog Squad, Natalie, David's partner in crime, literally. Natalie, who allegedly forged Jeff's signature on an incident report after he nearly died. That Natalie. She's been traveling all over London with Alyssa all week, and you just know that connection has something to do with her dislike of Tana. Tana is very close friends with Trisha and Jeff, and those are two people who don't mix well with David and Natalie. Ever since all this drama went down, people have been anxiously awaiting for Tana and Brooke to sit down and talk about the drama going on with Alyssa, and they finally did in this week's episode. The episode is titled, Tana Has Beef with Alissa Violet, and the information they reveal about Alyssa is pretty shocking. Tana started off this segment with a little poem paying tribute to her drama with Alyssa. In this poem, Tana said if Alyssa wasn't dating Marshmallow, she would have to go out and find a different job. She talked about Alyssa using David for his pool, and how she's pretty much known as a mean girl around LA.
Oh. Alyssa, Alyssa, Alyssa. What are we going to do? You've caused us a big mess with your mean girl stew. Alternate line. I think that it's time to put down the cauldron and broom. All of this mess just so you can use David's pool. You came at me for shaming, but then said I sell my hole. But if it weren't for Marshmallow, you'd be on a pole. Oh. Dying on a hill for Jason Nash. I suggest you shut your trap before you're both doing DoorDash.
And it sounds like Tana realizes that this has nothing to do with Alyssa having strong feelings about the girl in the tree. She recognized that this has everything to do with where Alyssa stands with David, Jason, and Natalie versus where Tana stands with Jeff and Trisha. She also pointed out how hypocritical Alyssa was in her TikTok about Tana. Alyssa was trying to say that we shouldn't be judging Jason for begging for galaxies on TikTok because he's just trying to earn a living and feed his kids, and no one should be shamed for their work, all while actively shading Tana for doing OnlyFans.
So you have your job, you have your podcast, right? And you have OnlyFans and you post pictures to make money, correct? Yes. So then he goes on live to also make money. So he's being shamed because he doesn't want to. I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
And Tana was not having it. I've never seen them go off this hard on an influencer ever before.
It's giving Regina and Katie are in the car and like, we're gonna make a fucking TikTok about Tana. She's such a fucking dumb slut. Am I right? Yeah. Right? Suck me, okay? She goes to talk about how I sell my on OnlyFans. First of all, I never have. Second of all, I'm gonna now out of spite, okay? Where do you get off? Get off!
And that's when Tana revealed that allegedly Alyssa has asked Tana how to make an OF and said she wanted to make one because she has no money.
You know how many times I've been out with Alissa Violet and she's asked me if she should start an OnlyFans if I can help her because she has no money? And then you're gonna come online and shame me?
That's what I heard.
Jaw swinging, asking me about fans.
They also brought up how at the height of Alyssa's career back in like 2016, 2017, she was also constantly in drama herself. She literally made one of the most iconic diss tracks on YouTube. Her entire career was built off of drama, and Tana and Brooke find it extremely hypocritical for her to now act like she's so above it. Tana also revealed that ever since this drama with Alyssa popped off, she's been receiving endless texts from all these different influencers telling her that they also had horrible experiences with Alyssa.
When all this started happening, I woke up to like 15 texts from influencers, people like with lots and lots of followers, begging to come sit on this podcast and do a testimonial of a time that Alissa Violet was horrible to them.
Included in that list of influencers who've had horrible experiences with Alissa Violet is Brooke Schofield. Last week, after Alyssa came for Tana, Brooke came to Tana's defense and called Alyssa out for her Depop.
I'm wondering if everyone remembers a couple months ago when Alissa Violet went on Depop.
Alyssa was using these drama-filled captions to bring attention to her clothes that she was trying to sell, and in one of these captions, she brought up Paige Lorenz, and then asked if they could be friends even though she's previously hooked up with Alyssa's ex. Brooke made this whole TikTok about it, and she did get some information wrong and was over-exaggerating just slightly.
And I remember one of them was like, yeah, I wore this dress out one night. I had the best night ever. I was looking amazing, feeling amazing. And then this dumb whore tried to steal my boyfriend. And her name was Paige Lorenz. And so I'm just wondering if that's the same girl because...
Okay, maybe she over-exaggerated a lot, but she did end up putting out another TikTok correcting herself. Well, Brooke revealed that Alyssa was not happy with her for over-exaggerating what she said on Depop, and she sent her a bunch of angry messages.
She goes on to say that your most recent TikTok is not an accurate description of my Depop caption, okay? It's so easy, you could have just Googled it. That's what she said. This is why podcasts and TikToks are so toxic and dangerous because they spread misinformation like wildfire.
Sorry.
The entire point I made with Tana was to not support cyberbullying. Then everybody made it about Jason Nash, which was not my point. Like I told Tana earlier, I cannot wrap my head around how some people use this platform we were given to spread constant, targeted, incessant hate toward others. Alyssa, be so for real.
Eventually, after a lot of back and forth, Brooke and Alyssa just decided to call each other and try to talk things out, but that didn't seem to help. Alyssa wanted Brooke to delete the video with the misinformation, and at first, it sounded like Brooke was considering it until Alyssa said this.
You know that your video is getting a lot of attention just because people are watching your Clinton Kane series. And I want to go on record and say, Alyssa, I have been getting so many views, so many more views than you for so long long before my 14-part series about Clinton Kane. It is actually ridiculous, okay?
Brooke and Tana said that overall, Alyssa just isn't a nice person. They've both had experiences with her that weren't the best, and they've also heard stories from different people in LA who also feel like she's a mean girl.
Amari was telling me how like the 35th time he'd hung out with her and me like all night. For a while, she tried to treat him like he was a waiter.
I remember specifically, I'm in like a suite with her at Caesar's Palace. She doesn't say a word to me. I've met her 1,000 times. We'll be standing in a circle of 3 people and she won't look in my eyes. I know who you are.
And it's always been that. Like anytime I've ever been with Alyssa, like even like Lele's wedding, it's like she wants to sit in the corner and talk shit about everyone else and laugh at other people's looks and their whatever. And it's like
10 girls off the top of my head who have horrible experiences with Alissa Violet. That's just the facts, okay?
And Alyssa even invited herself on the canceled podcast to talk about their drama and clear the air.
So on the phone, she's saying, if you want me to come on the podcast and clear it up, I'm like, respectfully, we have only the most elite of talent on
no
the
one else
canceled
will
podcast.
come on. It's just Trisha Paytas.
Now, Brooke did end up deleting that video that had the misinformation in it, and that seemed to be the end of that. Until Brooke went on Just Trish. Trisha and Brooke were talking about the drama with Alyssa, and Brooke was honest with Trisha and told her that she thinks Alyssa is a mean girl.
It was so out of pocket. So you know what? After that, I was like, you're mean. Like, that's mean.
Which prompted Alyssa to message Brooke all over again. Brooke read out the messages Alyssa sent her, and it sounds like Alyssa felt caught off guard seeing Brooke go on Just Trish and talk about her when she felt like they cleared things up over the phone.
Girl, you are so messy. I just saw a clip from Trisha's podcast and I am so sad. I thought we had a good talk and you said you understood my point. I did understand her point, okay?
Remember that movie?
She said, you completely 180'd with what you told me originally. It's very disappointing. Also, you made up a few random lies about me out of nowhere. It was interesting. I distinctly remember how we spoke on spreading misinformation, fabrication can be damaging and harmful, and you agreed. Yet, you completely did
You said I saw my hole, I don't.
But, well, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about how I said that she had inquired about to you.
Alyssa then told Brooke that by doing the canceled podcast, she was trading in her morality for a paycheck and was only defending Tana because Tana gave her a career as an influencer.
She said, I understand you have to publicly defend your co-host who gave you your career, but to throw me under the bus after you privately told me something so different is wild. I sincerely hope these paychecks are worth your morality, girl. Unfortunately, there's a reason nobody wants to come on the podcast, and this is a huge part. Actually, Alyssa, you want to come on the podcast. You asked me yesterday, you weird. Sorry.
So it's safe to say Alyssa and Brooke won't be friends anytime soon. Since this episode was released, Alyssa has had to turn her comments off because of all the backlash. All her comment sections were filled with people on Team Tana and Brooke making references back to the canceled episode. We had people writing, even the paparazzi team Brooke, are you at David's pool right now? How was the skiing trip? Jaw swinging is crazy. But I have a feeling Alyssa is loving all this extra traffic to her profile right now because she decided to launch a new subscription service. She announced that she was joining fanfics and told people if they wanted to see receipts on the current drama going on, they could subscribe to her fanfics for $5 a month.
Okay, so I know I casually mentioned this in a YouTube video like a couple of months ago, but I have finally decided to launch my fanfics account. For those of you who don't know what fanfics is, this is just going to be a place where I can respond to all your messages, DM back and forth, and just post like exclusive, fun, behind the scenes content of all the that's going on in my life. That includes like pictures that don't make it to Instagram, maybe like YouTube clips that don't make it to YouTube, maybe some casual tea spilling, maybe some receipts due to recent circumstances, and yeah.
What ironic timing. Now in this episode, Tana and Brooke also talked about Jason Nash. Tana said with everything Jason Nash has done, he should feel lucky that the only thing that Tana is bringing up is his begging.
For everything Jason Nash has done, he is lucky that the main focus is his problem with panhandling for those cowboy hats.
And it's true, there is so much worse Tana could be dragging Jason for. For years now, people have been bringing up all the creepy clips of Jason talking about trying to kiss Tana when she was freshly 18, and Tana's never really had a deep conversation online about that. Until now.
Okay, I went back the other day for the very first time ever in my life, and watched these videos of Jason and I when I've been 18 for a week, right? And he's trying to kiss me. And And again, I also lived that. Like, I will never forget being in that dressing room with Jason Nash and he's trying to kiss me and I'm like, what the has my life come to, right? This is not what I signed up for the vlog.
Tana brought up those clips and said that she was watching them back the other day and remembers how gross and uncomfortable he made her feel.
When you go back and you see all of that content that lives forever, it's disgusting.
So you can see Tana bringing up him begging on TikTok here and there is nothing compared to what she really could be dragging him for. Finally, the last story actually has to do with Tana and Brooke's Patreon. They launched their Patreon in this episode for $10 a month and said they were going to be revealing extra tea over on there. And judging by how many likes they got on their first upload, it looks like they already have well over 6,000 people signed up. Since so many people signed up, a lot of tea that they've spilt in the episode has leaked and has started to make headlines. It came out through the leaks that Zach Sang is trying to sue Brooke. An article about the episode came out and it says, in Brooke and Tana's latest Patreon conversation, Brooke shared that Zach now wants to sue her. I got a call saying that he is threatening legal action because I have done what he considers to be irreparable damage to his career, she said. Something tells me trying to take legal action against her is just going to make whatever backlash he's been receiving 10 times worse. I've already been hearing influencers say that they were invited on the Zach Sang show, but because of everything that's come out, they no longer want to do it. If Zach wants any chance at redemption here, I think he should just reach out to Brooke himself and apologize to her and take accountability for his part in the whole Clinton Kane story time, because right now it's not looking good for him. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below and I'll see you next time.